So the question is, does the system require a different line of logic, like the first HP calculators using the reverse Polish notation? So if you look at the way that the data exists for Starlight, there's kind of two sides of the process. There's the data engineering process, that you have to get your data from wherever it is into a format that's machine readable. So if you have a bunch of typed notes, for example, or written notes, those would have to be loaded up somehow. So there's the data engineering side where you have to get everything into one of the formats we support. So Microsoft Office, into a database. We support connecting to databases, or into XML, and then you get into Starlight. So that's the first half of it. And then the second side is actually doing the analysis. And as far as a line of logic, it really is user-directed. We support both the kind of formal structured analysis techniques, especially with the Knowledge Manager. Now you can document out some hypotheses and do some analysis of competing hypotheses by documenting up different ones and seeing how many question marks you can get to disappear. You could do the A/B analysis. You could do the automatic link charting and just sort of explore what's in there using the other views as well, the topic view, category view, that sort of thing. So you definitely can kind of approach it from whatever direction of logic you want to use, and the tool just sort of allows you to do it however you want to. So there's a question about backwards compatibility here if you have a lot of projects in an older version of Starlight. So prior to this release, everything was required to be in a server. We still support connecting to that server, and the server gets updated with this release, but the data should not have a problem persisting from one version to the next. We've tested backwards compatibility at every step here, and hopefully have not created any problems. Obviously, anytime you upgrade, you should back up your data, but you shouldn't have to reload it. It'll all be in the server. Now, if you want to move it from the server to a standalone project, what you have to do is get the data back out of the Starlight server and then load it into a standalone project, which is sort of an onerous process. We realize that that's a problem for some people, and we're working on fixing that. But for this version, the only way to get data into a standalone project from a server project, a server-based project, is to export it and then re-import it. We've got a question here about a demo version. Yes, we do have demo versions. So if you go to the sales@futurepointsystems.com, the people that monitor that email box can get you set up with an account on our forum. That's at www.futurepointsystems.com. And once you're set up with an account there, you can download Starlight in its entirety. It works for 4 days by itself. And if 4 days isn't enough, then let us know, and we can set you up with a little longer evaluation period. We also love giving demos, so if you have other people in your organization that want to see us demo the product for you, or if you want to see your data in it, we could probably work something out there as well. One more question about the entity extraction feature. I've kind of talked a little bit about that. Let me just as a point of reference, let me pull that up here. So I've got XEE. I'll just kind of, this is sort of getting into the weeds a little bit, but just to sort of show you what's going on here. Each one of the file formats that we support, we also, see if this is the right one or not. Yeah, here we go. We also have a converter that goes along with it. So you can see we do PDF or HTML, text, PowerPoint, Word. CSV is just a limited text parser, or Excel, either the old or the new formats for the Office stuff. And if it's one of the text versions, then we run it through this entity extraction process here. So we grab a bunch of stuff. We grab phone numbers, IP addresses, URLs, email addresses, dates and times are extracted. If you have MGRS coordinates, we extract those. Lat long is extracted if you have geographic coordinates in there. So all that stuff gets extracted here. This normalized term extractor is what pulls out the terrorist leaders in the cities and names and stuff like that. We place name geocode things so that you can actually plot your stuff on a map, and then it gets cleaned up a little bit here in this last step, and then it gets thrown into Starlight. So this process here using the XEE tool is completely configurable. You could replace any one of these modules or patterns. These are regex patterns. I don't want to get too much into how it works, but you can see the regex pattern here for extracting. This one's for MGRS. We've got another one for phone numbers, etc. So you could change any of this stuff that you wanted on your version, redistribute it with your installations at your location. It's just a plugin like any other plugin. So you could also attach this to one of the plug-in modules that we have, like Yahoo or Technorati or the ODBC connection if you've got a database and that sort of thing. So it's pretty configurable. Obviously, you have to have XEE in order to edit it, but you only need one of those if you've got a group of people who aren't familiar with data engineering, but you are, for example. The data engineer person could set this up for everyone, and then the other, 10, 100, whatever people using Starlight could make use of that same engineering effort. All right, we've got one last question. I talk about plans for increasing the level of interactivity with the views within the web reports. So right now there's the zoom in and out, but also questions about the link array and the topic view and such. So right now the way that these work, let me just bring it back up so we've got it in front of us. There is the zoom in and the zoom out, and obviously the panning, and then the clicking around to get the different records and such to show up. As far as different levels of interactivity here, one of the things we've been talking about very recently is enhancing the web reports and actually making them a lot more interactive so that people could do searching within this data. They could do different filtering, possibly redo, like for the category view, redo the categories that were used. So you want to see fatalities and target or something instead of target and tactic. So that's definitely stuff that we have on the drawing board. But there's not a way right now of making the views any more interactive than what I've demonstrated here. It's pretty much just a dissemination tool so that people who have used Starlight can get it back out and in a format that they can either email or send to people via SharePoint or file shares, that sort of thing. And that way people outside of that organization or maybe perhaps up the chain who want to be briefed on the analysis, they're not restricted to only watching someone drive Starlight or seeing just a single screenshot that's included in a PowerPoint, for example. So this is sort of a halfway point. We're definitely looking at ways of making it a lot more valuable to people over time, and especially user community is a big part of this. So any option to engage with our users and learn about what their problems are, we're definitely interested in that. So with that, I'll leave this up for a little while, but that's the end of the questions that people have written in. So I think we've gotten everyone's questions answered. If there's anything we didn't touch on or something I was unclear on, definitely send me an email. And if you're interested in a sales call, then send it to the sales at futurepointsystems.com address there, and we'll get things sorted out. So thank you very much. We're near the end of our time here, so I'll leave this up for a couple of minutes. But again, thank you very much for attending, and look forward to hearing from you.